Hello everyone, I'm Xiao Jin from Susan's family. Today, I bring you the diamond bucket. For this electronic tutorial, you can search for susud.com on the website to view it. This bag consists of the bottom, the body, the lid, and the strap, and the handle, which make up this bag. The bottom of the bag is pre-made. The other parts need to be made separately. Then, they are assembled together. Next, I will demonstrate the specific making method. Let's start with learning how to make the body of the bag. The body is divided into two sections, top and bottom. Complete each section separately first, then join them together. First, we will crochet the first section. The first section is crocheted in rounds, starting from the holes around the bottom of the bag and working upwards. The stitches used include chain, CH, single crochet, SC, and slip stitch, SL street. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Take out the bag bottom. The side with the raised pattern is the right side. The other side is the wrong side. Place the bag bottom with the right side facing you. The first round, R1, is crocheted into the holes around the bag bottom. Make a slip knot with the yarn. Unless otherwise specified, the yarn tail should be about 5-10 centimeters. Insert the hook into any hole and pull through. Adjust the size of the loop. Pull the loop to the same height as the edge of the bag bottom. Complete the join. Make one chain stitch, CH1, to start. Then, work one single crochet, SC, into the same hole. Weave in the tail as you crochet. Pull the loop to the same height as the edge of the bag bottom. This completes one single crochet, SC. Place a marker on this stitch. Continue and work 2 more stitches. As you crochet, be mindful to pull the loops to the same height as the edge of the bag bottom. This hole is now completed. Continue working the corresponding number of single crochets, SC, into the next holes. Complete this round. After finishing the last hole, end with a slip stitch, SL street, in the first stitch position. In the chart, a solid circle represents the slip stitch, SL street. This indicates that the slip stitch needs to be tightened. Do not remove the stitch marker yet. The first round is now completed. Move on to the second round, R2. Crochet this round on the wrong side. Turn counterclockwise. On the wrong side, the single crochet, SC, stitches are located on the upper left. Start with the corresponding stitch on the left side, which is the last stitch of the previous round. Crochet a slip stitch, SL street, here. In this case, an oval solid dot represents the slip stitch, SL street, indicating that it should not be pulled tight. I won't repeat this instruction for subsequent steps. Place a marker on this stitch. For this round, pick up the single crochet, SC, stitches from the previous round. Work slip stitches, SL street, into each corresponding stitch. Follow this method to complete this round. For the last slip stitch, SL straight, crochet it into the marked stitch position. After completing, at the position of the first slip stitch, SL straight, pick up the chain, braid, from the slip stitch, and join with a slip stitch, SL straight, pull tight. Do not remove this stitch marker yet. This completes the second round, R2. You can check the number of slip stitches. It should match the number of single crochets, SC, from the previous round. The joining slip stitch does not count as a stitch. Continue with the third round, R3. Work this round on the right side. Start crocheting in spirals from this round. Begin with 1 chain, CH, as your beginning chain. Turn counterclockwise. Before you start, notice that the fabric has 2 rounds of chains. The front round consists of single crochet stitches. The back round is made up of the V-shaped loops formed by the slip stitches. For this round, pick up the V-shaped loops from the slip stitches to crochet. Make sure you don't crochet into the wrong loop. Pick up with your hook the first V-shaped loop on the left side. Work 1 single crochet. Mark the stitch. Continue. Pick up the V-shaped loop from the slip stitch on the left side. Work a single crochet. You can see on the right side of the piece, a clear braid-like texture is forming. Match up all the way down, picking up the V-shaped loops from the slip stitches to work single crochets. Finish this round. For the last stitch, crochet into the marked stitch. No need for a slip stitch to finish. This completes the third round. The surface of the fabric has a round of braid-like texture. Now work the fourth round. No beginning chain is needed. Start with a single crochet directly in the position of the first stitch from the previous round. For each subsequent round, mark the first stitch position. Work corresponding single crochets all the way down, continuing until you reach the end. Place a stitch marker before the next stitch. This indicates the end of a complete round. The fourth round is now completed. When crocheting in spirals, there will be a height difference between the beginning and ending. This is normal. Continue to pick up stitches, and work single crochets, matching them one by one. Complete the corresponding rounds. Once everything is finished, at the position of the first stitch, make 1 slip stitch. This slip stitch does not need to be tightened. Stretch the loop. Pass the yarn tail through the loop. Pull tight. Leave a yarn tail about 3 times the length of the outer edge. Cut the yarn. This completes the crocheting method for the first part. The second part is made by joining motifs. After completing the connection of the motifs, trim the lining, and connect it with the motifs. First, learn the crocheting method for the motifs. Start the motif with a magic ring for casting on. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise from the center outwards. The new stitches used include treble crochet. 4 treble crochets work together as one stitch, and picket of 3 chain stitches. Note that only the first motif is crocheted separately. The rest of the motifs are joined while crocheting the last round. Connect it to the previous motif. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. First, make 6 chain stitches, and join them with a slip stitch to form a ring. Next, crochet the first round. Make 4 chain stitches. These act as the turning chain for the treble crochet. These 4 chains count as 1 treble crochet. Insert the hook into the center of the ring, and yarn over twice to make a treble crochet. Yarn over twice. Insert the hook. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over and pull through the loops on the hook. Repeat this 3 times. One treble crochet is now completed. Continue and make 4 more treble crochets. Don't forget to weave in the ends as you go. Including the turning chain, that's a total of 6 stitches. Consider these stitches as one group. Next, make 5 chain stitches. Then work 3 more groups of treble crochets downward. Between each group of treble crochets, make 5 chain stitches as a transition. As you work, you can move the completed section to the right slightly. Finally, pick up the turning chain. Insert the hook under both loops of the 4th chain stitch, and make 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. Trim the excess yarn tail. This completes the first round. We will use the side with clearer texture as the right side, and the other side as the wrong side. Now, move on to crochet round 2. Make 1 chain stitch to start. In the top of the beginning chain, make 1 single crochet. Then, make 4 chain stitches. Next, crochet 4 treble crochets together in 1 stitch. First, pick up the stitch, make 4 incomplete treble crochets. Yarn over twice. Insert into the next stitch on the left. This stitch may not be obvious. Don't skip it. Yarn over in sequence. Pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. Repeat this 2 more times. You will have 2 loops remaining. 1 incomplete stitch is now done. Continue by picking up the next stitch and making 3 stitches. There should be 5 loops on your hook. Yarn over, and draw through in once. 1 treble crochet with 4 stitches worked together is completed. That's it for this stitch. Move on to the next one. Make a picket of 3 chain stitches. Start with 3 chain stitches. Then insert and work into the cluster stitch through the front loop, which is the front half stitch. Insert through the next 4 strands below. Make 1 slip stitch. The picket of 3 chain stitches is completed. Chain 4 stitches downward. Pick up and make 1 single crochet. Into the chain space, crochet 3 single crochets. Then 3 chain stitches, followed by 3 single crochets. Now we are at the second group of treble crochet positions. Pick up and crochet the stitch. The first stitch may not be obvious. Don't miss it. 1 single crochet, 4 chain stitches, 1 double crochet together. One picket stitch. When making a slip stitch, insert into the front loop of the stitch, and the 4 strands below. In total, pick up 5 strands to crochet. Four chain stitches, 1 single crochet. In the chain space from the previous round, crochet 3 single crochets, 3 chain stitches, 3 single crochets. Continue down to finish the remaining stitches. Finally, on the first single crochet, finish with a slip stitch. Pull tight. Cut the yarn. Weave in the yarn tail on the wrong side. The second round is completed. One motif is finished. After completing this motif, measure the diameter of the motif. If there's a significant difference, you need to adjust your tension and crochet again. Next, proceed with connecting the motifs. Connect the motifs from right to left. For the previous motifs, only connect one side. For the last motif, you need to connect it to the motifs on both sides. Connect two sides. Now, please watch me demonstrate the specific joining method. First, attach the second motif to the end of the cluster stitch of the first motif. I have already completed this part in advance. Next, crochet a picket stitch. First, crochet one chain stitch. Take out the first motif. Place them with the wrong sides together. Right sides facing out. Insert the hook from back to front into the back piece. Through any picket stitch. In the middle hole. Just approximate the position. Then insert it into the loop that was left, and draw the loop through. Crochet 2 chain stitches. 1 slip stitch. The picket stitch is now completed. Crochet down 4 chain stitches. 4 single crochets. One chain stitch. Connect with the adjacent chain space of the back motif, and draw the loop through. Crochet 2 chain stitches. 4 single crochets. Four chain stitches. 1 cluster stitch. When crocheting the picket stitch, connect it with the picket stitch behind. This edge is now completed. Finish crocheting the remaining part of this motif. The second motif is now completed, and it is also connected to the first motif. The motifs in the middle are all done using this method. Connect it to the side of the previous motif. Each motif connects at 3 points. For the last motif, besides connecting to the second to last motif, it also needs to connect to the side of the first motif. This joins them into a circle. I'll demonstrate the method for connecting the last motif. Here, I'm only demonstrating the technique. The number of motifs is random. First, connect it to the side of the previous motif. I've already connected it in advance. After connecting, continue crocheting the corresponding stitch pattern. Keep going until you complete the next cluster stitch. Once the cluster stitch is completed, when crocheting the picket stitch, connect it to the right edge of the first motif. Start with 1 chain stitch. Place the 2 motifs with wrong sides facing each other. Insert the hook into the corresponding hole. Finish connecting the remaining part. After connecting, finish the remaining chain stitches and single crochets. The last motif is now completed. This is the method of joining the first round of motifs. Next, connect the motifs for the second round. The number of motif connections in this round is the same as the first round. The first motif still connects on one side only. The middle motifs connect on two sides. The last motif connects on three sides. Similarly, connect from right to left. Now, please watch as I demonstrate the specific joining method. The first motif only needs to connect to any one of the motifs from the first round at the edge above. I have already connected this part in advance. When you encounter a previously connected picket stitch position, insert into either one of the picket chain spaces. Next, connect the second motif, in addition to connecting it to the adjacent motif below, at the edge above. It also needs to be connected to the left side of the motif, from the round that has already been connected. Continue connecting them downward. When you encounter three motifs connected together, insert into the insertion points of the other two motifs to connect. Ensure that three corners are at the same insertion point. Finish crocheting the remaining part. And then cut the yarn. The second motif is now connected. The central motifs are all connected using this method. Continue connecting them downward until completed. Next, connect the last motif of this round. First, connect it to the remaining side of the first motif in this round. Then connect it to the remaining side of the first round motif. Finally, connect it to the side of the right motif. And cut the yarn after completing. The motifs of the second round are now connected. The connection method for the last round is the same as the second round. Continue connecting them downward until completed. After all motifs are connected, trim the lining. First, determine the height. Trim the top and bottom of the lining to make it even. Lay the motifs flat. Align the pointed shape at the bottom edge. Here, we will only demonstrate the method. The number of motifs is random. The height of the lining needs to be half a motif's dimension more than the fabric piece. Mark multiple positions. Cut off the excess parts. After determining the height of the lining, trim both sides to make them even. Place it inside the bottom of the bag. Check the size along the bottom of the bag. Confirm the size by following the contour of the bag bottom. Confirm the size along the bottom of the bag. Overlap by about 1.52 centimeters. Mark it. Cut off the excess parts first. After cutting off the excess parts, turn the lining inside out so the wrong side faces outward. Place it along the bottom of the bag. Make marks on the overlapping sections. After marking, compare the other side with the bag bottom. Adjust the size of the lining. Once done, follow the marked lines and secure the overlapping parts. Below, use the yarn used for crocheting motifs. Sew around the overlapping part of the lining. While sewing, pay attention to keeping the line segments on the right side not too long. Finish sewing the remaining parts. After the lining is sewn, mark the positions of the chain spaces. I'll demonstrate the method with a sample. First, on one side, evenly mark 44 chain spaces, about 0.5 centimeters away from the edge, mindful that the first stitch should be marked in the middle of the overlapping lining. The actual distance between chain spaces is not strictly required, just make sure they are roughly evenly spaced. After determining the chain spaces on this side, then determine the chain spaces on the other side. When determining, pay attention to ensure that the upper and lower chain spaces are aligned vertically. Once all chain space positions are determined, start by punching holes along the marked positions on one side. There's no need to punch holes on the other side yet. After connecting one side of the motifs, proceed to connect the other side, punching holes as you go. This is the method for making the lining. Next, we will connect the motifs to the lining. Place the motifs over the lining. Here, I will only demonstrate the method. The number of motifs is random. Crochet short needles into the holes. Start by casting on at the overlapping position. Insert the hook into the middle chain space of the motif. Then insert it into the hole behind. Make one chain as your beginning chain. Crochet 3 single crochets in the same place. Place a marker on the first stitch. Crochet the corresponding number of single crochets in the adjacent hole. Then crochet single crochets in the next hole. While crocheting, connect 2 motifs. Secure the picket stitch connection position. First, insert into the hole on the right side. Then insert into the lining. Crochet 2 single crochets. Next, insert into the hole on the left side, and through the lining, crochet 2 single crochets. For the rest, work in every other hole and the chain spaces above the motifs, and connect at the picket stitch connection point between 2 motifs. Proceed with the connection. If you encounter a situation where you need to crochet 3 single crochets in a hole, then at the connection point, crochet 1 single crochet in the hole on the right side, and 2 single crochets in the hole on the left side. Follow this method to complete all connections. When securing this side, only work a round of single crochets. Finally, join with a slip stitch at the stitch marker position, and fasten off the yarn. For the other side, connect using the same method. When actually connecting, you can adjust the hole positions as needed while connecting, to prevent the motifs from skewing. Keep the lining flat. After completing the first round on this side, then crochet a few rounds in spirals. Then join with a slip stitch, and fasten off the yarn. This is the method of joining the motifs and the lining. Next, let's learn how to make the flap and handles. First, complete these 2 parts separately. Then attach the handle to the flap. Install the lining and zipper. The main body is divided into 2 sections. The first section starts with an adjustable magic ring. Crochet in spirals around the center. After that, move on to the second section. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crochet method. Start with an adjustable magic ring. Make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Then, in the ring, crochet 6 single crochets. Mark the first stitch position. After that, close the magic ring. The first round is complete. Now, let's crochet the second round. At the stitch marker position, make a single crochet increase. That means crocheting 2 single crochets in the same stitch. As you go, gently pull the starting tail to close the magic ring. Mark the first stitch. Continue with single crochet increases for the rest. Finish all the remaining stitches. Crochet all the way until one stitch before the stitch marker. The second round is now complete. Next, let's move on to the third round. Start with a single crochet. Crochet in spirals. Mark the first stitch of each round. Make sure to mark the first stitch of every round. Then, make an increase stitch. In this round, alternate between one single crochet and one increase stitch. This method is called skip one, increase one. Finish this round. The third round is now completed. Move on to the fourth round. Start with a single crochet increase. Then, work 2 single crochets evenly. The pattern for this round of crochet is 1 single crochet increase, 2 single crochets worked evenly. Repeat this pattern. This method is called increase 1 stitch every 2. Finish this round. The fourth round is now completed. Move on to the fifth round. Start with 2 single crochets. Then, make a single crochet increase. Follow with 3 more single crochets, and another single crochet increase. The pattern for this round of crochet is to increase 1 stitch every 3. Following this pattern, finish this round. Finally, complete this single crochet increase. Make 1 more single crochet. Combine it with the initial 2 stitches, making it a perfect group of 3 single crochets. This completes the 5th round. Now, let's look at the crochet pattern for the fabric piece. The piece starts increasing stitches from round 2. In round 3, increase 1 stitch every 1. In round 4, increase 1 stitch every 2. Each round builds upon the previous round, adding 6 stitches. So, with each additional round, the number of stitches between increases by 1 stitch, and so on. The total number of stitches in each round, the number of increase stitches, and the increase pattern can all be referenced in the table. Continue crocheting down to the second to last round. Next, let me show you how to count the rounds. Here's the method for counting rounds. The surface of the fabric piece has round after round of raised texture. The number of rounds of texture indicates how many rounds have been crocheted. After completing the second to last round, you can compare it with the bag bottom for size. It should be close to the actual size of the bag bottom. You can adjust the number of rounds, based on the actual situation. Then, according to the size of the fabric piece, cut the mesh board. After cutting the mesh board, draw the lining dimensions next. Draw from the right side, leaving about 1 centimeter of width at the edges for cutting. After cutting both the lining and the mesh board, work the last round. Add only 3 stitches in the last round. No need to join with a slip stitch after completing it. This is the crocheting method for the first part of the bag lid. After finishing the first part, continue with crocheting the second part. Here, I'll continue demonstrating with this sample. For the first round, pick up the back loop only and work single crochets. That means picking up the back loop, the strand at the back of the stitch. Complete this round all the way down. After finishing the first round, adjust the position of the single crochets, making sure the right side faces out. For the following rounds, pick up stitches in each stitch, and work even with single crochets, not adding or decreasing any stitches. Continue crocheting all the way down to the fourth to last round. Let me demonstrate the crochet method for the last 3 rows. Start with 1 chain as your beginning chain. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Pick up stitches, and work the corresponding number of single crochets. After completing, make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Continue turning the workpiece. Pick up stitches, and work single crochets. Finish the last row by working all the way down. Once completed, stretch the loop. Pass the fabric piece through the loop. Leave out the last row, with a yarn tail about 3 times longer than usual. This is the crochet method for the main part of the bag cover. After completing the entire main part of the bag cover, secure the mesh plate with the same color yarn. There are no specific requirements for securing it. Just ensure that there's no obvious carrying yarn on the right side. Next, let's learn the crochet method for the handle. The handle consists of 2 identical fabric pieces. We will start the fabric piece from a foundation chain, and crochet in rounds. After completing them, assemble the pieces together. Secure D-rings on both sides. Please watch the demonstration. The handle is crocheted using 2 types of yarn. One method is double strands held together. You can pre-wind part of the yarn ball beforehand, so you have 2 yarn tails. Then crochet with these strands combined. The other method uses 3 strands of yarn. Enlarge the loop with the yarn tail, and fold it in half twice. This gives you 3 strands. Take the yarn tail connected to the skein, and exit through the folded loop from underneath. Enlarge this loop as well. Then crochet with these 3 strands held together. After completing this section, continue. Take the yarn tail connected to the skein, and draw it through the loop. Enlarge this loop, giving you 3 strands again. Now, I'll demonstrate the crocheting method, using a single strand of cotton yarn. You can watch the demonstration first, then proceed with your crocheting. Start with a slip knot, and crochet a foundation chain. Begin by making a certain number of chain stitches. The number of stitches here is random. After completing the chain, count back to the 11th stitch from the end. Pick up one strand and crochet a slip stitch. Continue with 5 chain stitches. Then slip stitch into the 6th chain from the bottom. Followed by crocheting 5 more stitches. Slip stitch into the 6th stitch. And finish crocheting the remaining part. For the last slip stitch, crochet it into the first chain. This completes the casting on. Next, crochet the first round. Start with 1 chain stitch. Crochet 7 single crochets into the left side chain. Don't forget to weave in the yarn tail as you go. When completed, at the insertion point of the slip stitch, crochet a slip stitch. Continue crocheting the corresponding number of single crochets into the chains. Then pick the insertion point of the slip stitch below, crochet a slip stitch. Finish crocheting this side. In the chain ring at the edge, crochet 14 single crochets. Continue at the insertion point of the slip stitch, crochet a slip stitch. Finish crocheting this side. Finally, slip stitch into the first single crochet. No need to pull tight, secure with a chain. Leave a long yarn tail and break the yarn. One handle is crocheted. Crochet the other one in the same way. After both handles are crocheted, assemble them. Place both handles with the right side facing you. Overlap them. Position the yarn tails in opposite directions. Insert the top fabric piece through the bottom ring. Then, exit the bottom fabric piece through the lowest ring of the top piece. Ensure that the rings in the same position on both pieces pass through each other once. Continue to exit the bottom fabric piece through the second ring from the top piece. Repeat this twice. The second chain space will now be interlocked. Next, interlock the third chain space, passing through 2 times each. Always insert from the bottom up. Complete the remaining sections in this manner. For the last chain space, pass through once each as well. The 2 handles are now assembled. Next, attach D-rings on both sides. Face the wrong side of the handle towards you. Align the edges. Secure the previously left yarn tail. Crochet 4 single crochets to connect with the D-ring. Insert the hook into the corresponding stitches on the right side. The specific insertion point is not strict, as long as the pieces are aligned. Make sure to come out through the D-ring. Pull through the previously left yarn tail. You can see this tail end is on the left side. Be mindful not to tighten the carrying yarn. Make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Work a single crochet in the same stitch. Insert the hook through both fabric pieces and the D-ring. Continue to crochet 3 single crochets downward. The specific position is not strict, as long as these 4 stitches are roughly in the middle of the edge. After completing, secure with a chain stitch. Weave in the ends. The D-ring on this side is now secured. Secure the other side in the same way. Next, attach the handle to the top of the bag. Use the same color thread as the bag top to secure it, about 1.5 centimeters away from the edge. When actually securing, pay attention that the sides of the handle and the center point should be in a straight line. The second part of the bag top should be in the middle position. Secure it together with the grid board. Now, install the lining on the inside of the bag top. Use the yarn tail from the crocheted bag top, and pull out about 2 to 3 strands. Fold in the excess part of the lining inward neatly. Along the last round of the first part of the bag top. Use the whip stitch method to secure it. Adjust the lining as you sew to keep it flat. This is the method for securing the lining. Next, secure the zipper. Place the 2 zipper heads opposite each other, approximately on the side where the bag top is crocheted back and forth, corresponding to the middle front position. Use a stitch marker or yarn tail. To secure the zipper tapes well, overlap the two ends of the zipper at the back. And along the edges where it folds back, trim off any excess parts. You can also press the edges of the zipper tapes with heat to prevent the threads from pulling out. Trim the other side in the same way, then secure it along the second to last round. Still, pull out 2-3 strands of the yarn tail to secure. Start at the position where the zipper is trimmed. Overlap and sew up and down. This prevents unraveling later on. When sewing, pay attention that there should be no carrying yarn on the right side. Go back and forth to secure several times, then use the whip stitch method. To first secure one side of the tape along the second to last round. At the starting position, fold the excess tape on this side, inward and secure it. When securing the tape at the starting position, don't go too high. To prevent the zipper from not pulling smoothly, secure the other side using the same method. Make sure to sew the overlapping part again as well. This is how you secure the zipper for the bag flap. Next, we will assemble all parts. Start by connecting the top and bottom sections of the bag body. Connect the side of the bag body that has only one round of single crochets. Use the whip stitch method to sew these two parts together. Insert the needle from front to back into the corresponding stitches on both sections. Continue inserting the needle from front to back. Insert the needle into the adjacent corresponding stitches. Pull tight. Sew all the way through with one stitch corresponding to another. Finish sewing them together. Weave in the ends when done. Next, attach the second part of the bag flap. Work this piece back and forth. Connect it to the bag body using the same method. When connecting, pay attention to sewing the inner lining seam of the bag body. Place it in the middle of the back. The motif should be positioned in the middle. Then secure the remaining side of the zipper to the second to last round of the bag body. Use the same method. Adjust as you secure it, aligning the zipper head and the connection points of the two motifs in a straight line. Finally, sew D-rings on both sides of the bag body, with the edges level with the lining. Then attach the strap. Up to this point, we have finished explaining the crocheting method for this bag. If you have any unclear parts during the crocheting process, don't hesitate to join our Facebook group to get support. Susan's Family. Every stitch and thread, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.